All right, I wanted to share a few thoughts regarding an ugly truth. And for some people, it could be controversial to talk about this on social media, but the truth is the truth, so let's just get it out there. And it's about the gap in our education system. Okay, and I don't see a reason why this has to delay any further. And the gap I'm talking about revolves around two things. Number one would be the exposure to the real world, how it's really like to work in a company, how it's really like to run a business, what are the real sets of problems and challenges that you might face, you will face in fact. Number two, skills. And when I talk about skills, I'm not talking about skills which are trade specific or any particular profession specific. I'm talking about skills which are absolutely important for anybody pursuing any line of career. And now, this takes a lot of time. This takes a lot of time, and this is something that is urgent. It's not something that we can keep waiting for, right? Because number one, when you don't have enough exposure, you will experience a shock when you enter the real world, when you are working in a company, or maybe you're running your own business, because everything is different out there. And when you are not kind of slightly aware of how the real world could be, this shock can literally completely crush somebody's belief system. It really is demotivating. It happened to me because we never had guidance or platforms like this back in those days, or maybe there were, but we are not aware at all. And I wish there was a platform like this back in those days. And skills, I'm talking about skills, right? It takes time. It takes time, guys, and it should start as soon as possible, right? And these kind of things should start class 9, 10 dagi haugadabne asengdagi. Then what do we do? The system has designed our brains in such a way that we focus on percentage, right? Very good percentage, high percentage score, that was very good. All these competitive exams, very good, because many people crack it without any problems, very good. But even if you score 100% in whatever subject or stream that you choose, and let's say you keep trying competitive exams year after year after year, and then eventually, unfortunately, if it doesn't work out, what happens is that you don't have any more time, right? You don't have any more time because you have not been paying attention to other things which are actually very important, which is having those key skills which can keep you ready to face uncertainties in life. And it takes time. And throughout my career, I have seen a lot of people who start panicking at the age of 30, 31 because they have not been focusing on those important skill sets, right? And who am I to say that? Well, I'm nobody special, right? But I have enough experience working in major MNCs, performing different key roles in Singapore. I've worked with small, medium enterprises as well, performing key roles. And one of the roles that I performed, or majority of the roles, primarily it was around learning and development. It was about manpower supply and recruitment, people management, business management, sales. So I do have a fair share of knowledge, right? And I hope this message reaches out to the power to be of the education system here in our state, because this is becoming more serious than ever. Example, somebody, a lot of students we meet, okay, industry, when it comes to career planning, industry verticals, majority don't know about this. Those people who know about this, please don't get offended. I'm talking about the majority who don't know about this. Industry verticals, we don't know, right? And then we pursue BBA, we pursue MBA, all great. But then, really, from the real world perspectives, there are more things that we need to be prepared for, right? Company when you work in a company, what are some of the things that you should know outside of your books, right? What is problem solving skills all about? What is conflict resolution all about? How can you be a great team player, right? And departments specific oina kai skills changi, which department, which role are you suitable for, right? You can't just say that, you know what, I want to be a HR manager, or I want to work in this industry, in this bank, in this industry, in this company, I want to become the HR. Okay, what are the things that are required for you to become a successful HR manager? What? Okay? And how do you become one? Right? And when can you become a HR manager? Because you can't straight away start off with becoming a HR manager of some company. You have to start from the bottom, guys. There's no such thing as a big start. It's possible. To have a big start is possible, but it's extremely rare for a lot of us, for most of us. So, depending on your subject stream, depending on your career goals, right? What are some of the things that you need to start acquiring in terms of the skills? What kind of exposure do you should start having from now, all right? If not a big start, so that you can have a fair start to your career, right? All these should start not later than a bachelor's degree at least. In fact, what is advisable is class 9, 10 planning and all this. Well, how do I know that? Of course, I'm not somebody special, right? But back in those days, we never had any kind of platform or any kind of guidance, right? But then I do have a fair share of knowledge in terms of career planning and development because of the kind of experience that I've had with various companies in different industry verticals in countries like Singapore, and even few here and there in India, and primarily my role being around people management, recruitment, learning and development, HR related, sales and marketing. So that also led me to interview and train a lot of people, different age groups, different level of experience, everything. So I'm sharing all this from my own experience, not trying to be an expert or guru here, but the ugly truth is that this gap needs to be fixed because students are being misled, right, into thinking that you just need to do one or two things, right, and then you can have your big start. No, not possible, right? Start gaining some exposures, in terms of real life problems and challenges that you might face when you start working in an organization, right? The uncertainties that you will face, right? Types of uncertainties that you'll face should you run your own business one day, right? So I would say, in terms of the skills, the main thing here, the biggest gap here, it's not just about skills as well. It's a lot to do with our outlook and perspectives towards things in life. Number one, definitely personality development is extremely important, I would say, in our state, and this takes time. This cannot be done or achieved over 2 to 3 workshops or by watching some pep talks, right? It's not possible. It definitely is something that never ends for anybody. It's not just a process, it's an evolution, but bit by bit, right? Bit by bit, we need to start transforming our personality. Because when you are at a stage in your life, when you go from one stage to another, your personality needs to transform along, suitable of a personality. And the skills I'm talking about, mainly communication skills, right? And communication skills, communication as I'm talking, right? It's not just about exchange of information or delivering messages or information effectively so that the listeners understand. It's more of establishing a connection with the person you're talking with so that you guys can come to a point of agreement. And if you look at it, for example, everything is communication, right? And when we communicate with people, what are we trying to do? We are trying to arrive at a point of agreement. For example, look at interviews. What's happening? Here's the interviewer, here's the interviewee. They are having a communication, right? They're communicating, trying to come to a point of agreement. The interviewer wants the interviewee to accept his what's on the table, right? What's on the table as in what's the job offer, this, that, right? Terms and conditions and salary. Now, the interviewee wants the interviewer to accept his proposal, right? In terms of what would be his starting expected salary and his expectations in terms of growth potential should he joins the company, right? This is also a form of communication, and the thing is that when we talk about communication skills here, straight away we all start thinking it's about spoken English skills. Okay, guys, those who are listening and who are already aware of this, don't get offended, don't get your ego hurt. There are a lot of people who don't know, and it's mainly for them. So guys, don't want to keep this video too long, but really, exposure, skills, the key skills, two biggest gap, and the power to be in our education system. I hope they do something about this. But regardless, we are here to discuss with you, to share whatever we can share, to support you with whatever professional network of professional people we have, right? So let's just work as a team, as a community together, face this ugly truth, and just remove it from our society once and for all. Thank you, guys.